Welcome back. Today's notes are a continuation of simple interest. So we are still going to be using the formula I equals PRT. Remember, P is the principal, R is the simple interest rate, time is in years, and then or total balance. That's going to be the new concept for today, talking about total balance. I mentioned this briefly in the video yesterday. What they have here for us is a diagram that is showing how we accumulate interest and then how that affects our balance. So they're saying the principal in an account plus the accumulated interest is the balance. And then they give us this little formula here that the balance comes from the principal plus the interest. So you walk into the bank, average Joe here, and you say, okay, my principal, what I am depositing into the bank is $100. So after 0 years, when you initially put the money into the bank, you don't get any extra interest. The bank just says, okay, I'm going to take your $100 and put it away. After 1 year, what's in blue here is still your remaining principal. So you still have $100 in your account plus this $2. So now, after 1 year, you would have $102 in the bank. After 2 years, you would have $104. After 3 years, you would have $106. The $2 in green represents your interest. The blue, again, is the principal, the original amount of money you deposited. And then you add the 100, I know this is very simple math, plus the 6 to get your balance of $106. So when we look at number 1, Derek's dad bought a new TV for $900 using a credit card. His card has a simple interest rate of 19%. If he has no other charges on his card and he does not make a payment, how much will he owe after 1 month? Why they are saying if he does not make a payment is because if you don't pay off your account and you don't make a payment, you're going to be charged interest on that. So what he purchased the TV for, that is going to be your principal. The interest rate is 19%, which is technically 1900ths if you want to remove the percent sign. So we have I equals PRT. We don't have the amount of interest. We have the principal, though, of 900. We have our rate of 1900ths. And our time, at first glance, you might say, well, I don't even have a time. But they're saying after 1 month, so that is our time. You do not put just 1 into your formula. Time is measured in years. So 1 month is 1/12 of a year. So that's why I put the month over 12. So again, how I would put this into my calculator is I would first figure out that what 1900ths is as a decimal. And 1900ths, I've said it now 3 times, is the same thing as 1900ths. And because sometimes we need to be careful if we end up getting repeating decimals, we want to make sure that we leave all of the numbers in our calculator. So I'm going to start by converting, let me put the pen down, I'm going to convert the 1/12 to a decimal. So I will do 1 divided by 12 to get me, there we have a repeating decimal. You want to leave all of those digits in your calculator. Do not round up here. And then just multiply by the 1900ths times the 900, and you'll get $14.25. But again, that $14.25 represents only the amount of interest. So now we have to take the principal plus our interest, add those together to now get our balance of $914.25. So when you use a credit card, if you don't pay it off in full, now you're going to be charged an interest rate, and in this case we were charged an additional $14. So that $900 television now is $914. In example number 2, it says that a bank manager wants to encourage customers to open a certificate of deposit, which is called a CD, account. He decides to make a poster to show how much interest a CD earns over time, help the manager complete the table. They're saying if you deposit $2,500, that is your principal, the 3 5/10% is your rate, and then all of our times are located right here. So I set up my formula. I'm looking for the simple interest earned, so I will place $2,500 in the principal. The rate will be 3 5/10% divided by 100, all times, oh, in this case, I'm going to put in 1. If I put in 0, I'd want you to notice that this was a 0, wouldn't that cancel everything out? So in the first year, that's why you don't earn any interest. So I'm actually going to put a 1 here. So again, in my calculator, I would do the 3 5/10 divided by 100 first, then I'd multiply by the 2,500, and I would get $87.50. That means that I'm going to get $87.50 each year. So each year, I'm just going to be adding on that amount. So again, in the 0 years, you're not earning any simple interest, so your account balance starts out with the $2,500 that you've deposited. After 1 year, we've now determined that you will earn $87.50. We now add the account balance and the simple interest to get the $2,587.50. And because we're just $87.50 each year, I'm just going to add that on. So for 2 years, you're going to put in $175 because it's $87.50 times 2. If I add another $87.50 on, I get $262.50. If I add another, I'll get $350. So what the chart is just trying to show you is that you're not earning $350, $262, $175. You're not earning all of those separately. They're just saying that after 4 years, you would have earned an additional $350 in interest. So when you take this 175, you're not going to add it on to the 2,587. You're going to add it on to your original balance. So you're now going to get 2,675. Then I would have 2,600. Wow, I'm really on fire. 2,762.50, and then 2,850. Okay. So we're going to flip over to number 3. Suppose your friend has earned $5.51 in interest after 9 months. If the interest rate is 3%, how much is the principal in the account? Round to the nearest cent. So if you can't mark up your paper like this for some reason, so say when we're taking the test and you don't have the question written down on your paper, what I would do is on the side of my paper, I would list all of the variables in my interest formula, my simple interest formula, and I would label what I have and what I don't have. I know that the 551 is my interest, so I will put that there. The principal, I don't have. The rate is 3%. The time is 9 months. So now when I use my I equals PRT formula, I'll know exactly where to substitute these values in. So in the I, I'm going to put $5.51. In the P, I just leave it as P. The rate is going to be 300, and the time was 9 months, so I need to make sure I put 9/12 here. So, can't do anything with the 551, but I can start to simplify on the right side. I'm going to calculate. I'm going to do 9 divided by 12, which gives me 75/100. I'm going to multiply that by 300. I'm changing it to a decimal, and I get 225 10,000ths. You need to make sure that you write all of those digits down. If you leave off any of those digits, you're not going to get an accurate answer. And now it's a one-step equation, so I'm going to divide. I do $5.51 divided by the 225 10,000ths. I get 244.89. So my final answer is $244.89. I'm going to do number 4 with you as well, just to make sure we're on the same page here, because it's a little bit different. Number 4, saying that Jamara received a $3,000 car loan. She plans on paying off the loan in 2 years. At the end of 2 years, Jamara will have paid $450 in interest. So what is the simple interest rate on the car loan? And how much money will she have paid the bank? So again, I'm thinking to myself, what information do I have? What do I not have? If she received a $3,000 car loan, that's the amount of money that she's borrowing. So that sounds like my principal. She plans on paying off the loan in 2 years. So 2 years would be my time. At the end of the 2 years, she will have paid $400.50 in interest. That's my I, and I am looking for my rate. So I use my formula, I equals PRT. I put 450 in place of the I, 3,000 in place of the principal. I'm looking for the R, and the T is in years this time, so it's just 2. So I will simplify on the right. 3,000 times 2 is going to give me 6,000. Divide both sides by 6,000. And I will get 75 thousandths. That is not my final answer, because if you recognize, after we've been practicing the y equals mx, I did not put the r over what value? 100. So because I didn't account for the fact of 100 there, I need to change this decimal to a percent. And to change a decimal to a percent, you multiply by 100. So the decimal will go 2 places to the right. So it's actually 7 5/10%. In order to tack on that percent sign, I have to change a decimal to a percent by multiplying by 100. Now they're asking, though, well, how much money will she have paid the bank? Well, she has to pay them back the original $3,000. If you don't pay it, they will come back at you. And she has to pay the $450 in interest. So she will actually have paid the bank $3,450. I'm going to go ahead and let you guys try 5 and 6. So pause the video. For number 5, I was looking for the interest, and when it says how much will Leon have to pay after 1 month if he makes no payments, I have to first find what the interest will be charged, make sure that 1 month you have it as 1/12. He will be charged 78 cents in interest, but how much does he have to pay? Still has to pay back the original $75 that he borrowed, so it's $75.78. And for example number 6, I am looking at that he has paid $300 in interest. His car loan was $5,000. The simple interest rate was 3/100. I go through and I end up getting that it will take him 2 years to pay the loan back. Okay? We will see you tomorrow. Have a great day.